Okay, in this video we're going to do practice exercise 12A, which is creating stairs and railings. So the first task is task number 1, is to open the new project. It's on your screen, and we want to open the first floor plan, so the floor plan view called first floor stair view, number 1. And that's the caller of the main floor plan. Hide the grid lines and sections. So I want to hide the grid lines and sections. Zoom in there. And we want to start the stair command. So we go to the architecture tab, the circulation panel, and we want to say stair. Right. And before we start going anywhere, we're going to want number 5, we want to verify the properties. So the stair is a 190 by 250. Yep. The base level is the first floor, the top level is the second floor, and the offsets are the same. And in the properties, I want to choose new stair runs. And the run width I want to make 1220. In the railing panel, I want to select the hotel, stairs and balcony handrail types. And I want to set the position to stringers. And then I want to click OK. Now before we go any further, we're going to do some setup here. So in the work plane box here, we want to make a reference plane to start off with. I want to make one reference plane here. I want it to be 1220 away from the rear wall. And then I will then choose my run. And now the options, I want to make it to the left hand side, so whatever line the stair gets drawn to the left, or the location line is the left of the stair. And I want to make an automatic landing. So we'll now click here, and in the stair, as you are drawing it as though you are standing on the left hand side of the stair. I want to pick there. And then I want to then do the same thing. I want to pick here, and then I want to drag it as far down here as I can. And Revit tells you how many rises you need to create. So as I'm only going this far, I want to pick there. So I've now made up one flight of stairs, a landing, and then a second flight of stairs. And we want to just move this one up here so it matches that. So you can select this one here, and then how about we move this up to match the landing. Okay. Now, what we don't want to do, we want to move these stairs a little bit off the wall, so we can select this one here, and how about we move that a little bit further off the wall so the stringer runs up there. And likewise on this one here, we want to move that up the wall. And then we want to click finish. Now let's go to the medium level of detail, and you'll find that the railings have been put in place. So we've got the stair, and we've got this railing object. We want to select the outside rail, and we want to change it to rails only. So what we should have is a stair going up. We should have a handrail on the outside of the stair, and then a handrail and balusters on the inside. Now there's no way to really have a look at that apart from making a camera view. So we go to the little 3D house, hit the down arrow, make yourself a camera view, and we can stand in the corner and then look up. And there we have it. Okay, so we've now got to make the upper floor stairs, which is a different floor to floor height than the big ones downstairs. So we want to go to the second floor plan. We then want to start the stair command, and we want to first verify the heights. So this one goes from the second floor to the third floor, and then we want to then put the multi-story parameter to the 8th floor in the building. We want to verify that the riser height's all right, and let's say we want to make 21 risers. And then next thing we want to do is let's make a reference plane like we did in the previous stair. It's got to be 1220 off the wall. Okay, and then we just want to check that the setup's just like we had before. So we then come into railing. We want hotel and balcony rails, stringer based. Okay, then we choose the run option. We want automatic left landing, and we want on the left. And now we only want to go up when it says 11. Once 11 is made, we can then select the stair. We can then move it. Okay, we want to move it a little bit further. And then Revit automatically put on the landing, and so what we want to do is to run further up. Okay, and then once that run's done, we can then click on finish. And that's it. Now we then need to change the, to see the handrails, we need to change the detail level to medium. Okay, we can then select the outside handrails. Instead of being balcony handrails, we want it to be hotel handrails only. And that will match the floor below. Now just to make sure that it has gone multi-story, let's go to the 5th floor plan. There it is. Let's see the handrails. We go to medium. There we go. They pop back up. And just to make sure how they look, let's go to the east-west section. And there's all the stairs going up the building to the 8th floor. Okay, continue on task number 3. We're going to be modifying the second floor to allow for the stair opening itself. So when we make up a stair, we just make up the stair, we don't make up the landings at the floor level. Okay, so we want to open up the second floor plan view. We want to change the visual style to wireframe. And then what that shows is the stairs above and below, all in the same piece. And what we want to do is somehow select the floor. Now it's easiest is to select one of the balconies. We then want to edit the boundary of this floor. Hopefully the pink or magenta line pops up. And then what we've got to do is then adjust this to suit it. So that'll be the bottom of it there. So this one here, there might be one along here is the stair line. Okay, and we want to pick the wall here. So let's pick this wall. Okay, so we can then trim the stair landing up like so. Again, we want to make this come back on here. So let's just draw a little line and then delete this. And what that means is that the lines that we've now drawn match up with what the stair is. We want to click Finish. And then again, we don't know, we want to then change it from wireframe back to hidden line. That's the stair going up, and that'll be the stair going down. Okay, now we want to zoom out. If you've got time, you can modify all the other ones as well. Now, if we've got time, we want to modify the first floor going up. An easy way to do a lot of these things is, let's say from the third floor up, we've got the floor coming right the way out here. Instead of editing the third floor, the fourth floor, the fifth floor, etc., what we're going to do is we're going to put a shaft in just like we had the lift. So again, we go to architecture, we go opening, so give me a shaft opening. And what we can do is we can then put a shaft opening in the stairwell. Okay, we can then chop this opening, and then the opening will go from the first floor. So the base constraint will be the third floor up to the 8th floor. We go Finish, and if we go to the 6th floor and we turn on the consistent colors, there's a hole cut for the stair itself. Okay, so continuing task number 4, we want to add a standalone railing. So typically a railing might be stuck to the stairs. We want to put a railing that's just by itself, like you'd find on a balcony or somewhat. So we want to go to the 2nd floor plan view, and we're going to put a railing along this little piece here, this little piece of floor. So we're going to come into here, we're going to say, give me some railing. We want a railing by sketch path. And in the type selector here, or the properties palette, we just want the hotel, stair and balcony rails. And then what we want to do is then draw a line along here. Now, if we draw along the edge of the floor, it's going to be wrong. So what we want to do is we want to offset it backwards 3 inches, which is 75 millimeters. And what we do is basically the line that we're going to be drawing is going to be 75 millimeters from the line that we've been picking. When we go Finish, it's made up a nice little handrail for us. And just to check that out, let's go to our 3D view. Let's scroll along, and there's our pretty cool rail. Go back to our floor plan again. I want to do the same thing for the outdoor balconies. So we say, give me a railing by sketch. And then what we can do is then use, how about we try picking 75. Okay, and then we can then stretch this up. We can then go Finish. Once we've done one, we can then copy it to multiple parts. We can then select these multiple parts use the filter box to only select the railings. So the railings are selected. Again, we can, just like we did the doors and windows, we can copy them to clipboard. We can then paste them to selected levels from level 3 to level 8. Go OK. Does a little thing. We go into 3D view and we then pan out, and our building's now got all the handrails on it.